know what I need?
You need something.
I need a lot of things.
I'll show you.
That power station's cool.
Oi. Whoa. You look a bit excited, mate. You alright? Have you never held anything so large?
Never. I mean, this is the best present ever, thanks mate. I mean, I know you shouldn't really be gifting this out, but...
It's because I'm a nice guy. What can I say? You ain't even zoomed in yet. We're still at 100 mil. Go on, push it.
Oh shit. Can you just leave me alone with it for like 5 minutes?
Yeah man, yeah, so, alright. Have fun. This is Lewis. If you watched the channel for a while, you have seen a video about the 70-200 where we went to some cliffs somewhere to take photos of puffins, and whether the 70-200 is the correct lens for wildlife, which we came to the conclusion that it's good, but it hasn't got the range. Well, recently, I bought the 100-400. So who better to come out with and test it and try it and let him have a go than my mate Lewis.
I feel like there's a lot of similarities in terms of size, weight to your 70-200, but you've just got that, oh, it's just so good. Like, you can just pick out whatever you want and it's just insane to have that level of range, and already for wildlife, for birds. I mean, I'm always out trying to pick up birds, and this is the perfect you know, lens to do it with. So
I'd say almost a successful day. I didn't quite get the kingfisher photo I actually wanted, but it's just one of the things. It'll happen one day. We need to go back to that other place and get the puffins. Now we've got the lens, we'll go back and get the puffins.
maybe an albatross.
Maybe an albatross. But let's get back to the office and review the footage. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
What the hell is this?
What? Sorry.
So the Sony full frame 100-400mm lens, I love it. This thing is by far one of my most favorite lenses to use at this moment in time. I haven't used it quite as much as I'd like to, but I have plans to make sure you subscribe to the channel. It has a variable aperture at f4.5 to 5.6, and unfortunately that means if your lighting isn't quite right, you're gonna have to shoot a higher ISO, but shooting at 3200 ISO on these newer cameras, you don't need to worry about noise, and with the use of artificial intelligence, you can get rid of all the noise in just a few clicks. Me and Lewis mentioned a video when we went out and used the 70-200, and to be fair, the 100-400 is just a much more usable focal length. The 70-200 still has its place for me when it comes to weddings because of the f2.8 aperture, and that extra 1 to 2 stops of light is really useful when it comes to indoor photography. But the 70-200 is being used less and less when it comes to prime lenses, but that is for another video. I've mentioned a lot that the 100-400 is great for wildlife, and it is. Some of the photos I've taken with this lens are some of my most favorite photos I've taken whilst being a photographer. Good things about it with wildlife photography, you don't end up getting in danger. You don't have to get close to the subject, you don't have to get close to the animal, so you aren't going to be attacked by something like a wild deer, a lion, anything crazy like that. You don't end up disturbing the animals and getting a really unnatural composition, and even though it's f5.6, you still get the bokeh, and the compression at 400mm is insane. This lens has built-in optical stabilization, which is really useful when it comes to photography, because having stabilization in your lens means that you can drag that shutter a bit, even though when it comes to wildlife, I wouldn't recommend doing that because things like birds or just animals in general can move quite fast, so you need to have a faster shutter speed. But for things like automotive photography, motorsport photography, this lens is amazing because you can still use the optical stabilization and get that blurry background as you whip across to get the subject in focus. Not only that, but at 400mm, when you're wanting to do video, the optical stabilization with the built-in image stabilization from the Sony, well, just put it this way, you don't have to worry about any major shakes in any of your footage. Like I've already said, this isn't just a wildlife lens, and it would be wrong for me to say that. Now you can shoot portraits on this, but anything after 200mm, personally I feel like it starts to feel a little unnatural. And at 400mm, you're gonna be a fair distance away from your subject, but if you wanna take photos at 400mm, I won't stop you, that's entirely up to you. But for landscapes, this thing just allows you to pick off little things in the distance that you would never actually think of getting. It's a whole different perspective. Whether it's mountaintops, treetops, you name it, this lens can reach it. You don't need something super wide such as a 12mm, 14mm, 16mm when doing landscapes. And if I'm honest, I use this probably 60% of the time when I'm doing landscapes at the moment in time, because it just allows you to get the photos that haven't been taken before. The Sony 100-400 is sharp throughout the whole image, and the best thing about it is that it weighs about the same as the 70-200, and it is around the same size also. So if it comes down to having to choose between the 70-200 f2.8 and the 100-400 f4.5 to 5.6, I'm going to choose the 100-400 every single time when it comes to trekking up a mountain or just travel in general. Admittedly, the range of this isn't quite the same as using a 200-600, but if I'm honest, a 200-600 is a much more specialized lens. But when it comes to the weight difference and the size difference between this and the 200-600, this personally wins every single time. And with the Sigma 150-600, well, it's the same situation, and let's not even get started on that. I'm going to be doing another video about this lens in the next few weeks, so if you want to see that video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for all the notifications for when I release that video. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button, as it allows me to share this video with more people out there on the YouTube platform. And if you've already subscribed to the channel, which I hope you have, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.